There is a terrifying moment in every person's life, if they are fortunate, when they finally look around the room, glance at their phone, scan the faces of those they call family or friends, and understand the truth: no one is coming. No one is going to save you. No one is going to fund your vision. No one is going to push you when your strength runs out. And if you fall, no one is going to catch you. For 99% of people, this realization is the beginning of collapse. It is the moment they break. They feel abandoned. They feel betrayed by life. They see themselves as victims. They cry out to the universe asking, why me? Why must I do this alone? But for the 1%, the outliers, the Machiavellians, the architects, this moment is not a tragedy. It is a baptism. You are here because you recognize it. You feel the weight of an ambition that no one around you can comprehend. You are exhausted from explaining yourself to people who are determined to misunderstand you. You are tired of waiting for permission, waiting for support, waiting for a team. Stop waiting. The belief that you need support to succeed is the greatest lie ever sold by a weak society. Machiavelli understood this. The great conquerors understood this. History is not written by committees. It is written by individuals who discovered that being alone was not a flaw. It was a weapon. I will show you how to build an empire with zero support. I will show you why having no one is not a disadvantage, but a strategic advantage, one that gives you a sharpness, a lethality the supported man will never possess. But be warned, this requires surgery on your mindset. We must cut out the part of you that craves validation. We must kill the herd animal inside you. If you are afraid of stepping into the dark alone, turn this off. Return to the crowd. They will keep you comfortable. But if you are ready to become the kind of person who unsettles the crowd, listen carefully. Let us dismantle the myth. From the moment you were born, you were trained to depend. School taught you group projects. Religion taught you congregation. Society taught you networking. You were conditioned to believe that advancement only happens when others lift you up. It's not what you know, it's who you know. You've heard it, you've repeated it, you've accepted it, and it is poison. The moment you rely on who you know, you admit that you are powerless without them. You hand the keys of your destiny to people who act in their own interest, not yours. Wrote in The Prince that a wise ruler depends only on what he can control, never on what belongs to others. When you seek support, you are not seeking strength, you are creating debt. Consider it carefully. The moment someone helps you, you owe them. When someone invests in you, they own a portion of you. When someone supports you emotionally, they gain the power to withdraw that support, and you with it. You believe you are searching for a safety net. But every safety net is also a spider web. It catches you, yes, but it traps you all the same. You have not failed because you lack support. You have failed because you are still seeking it. You are wasting precious mental energy scanning the horizon for a savior. You are weakening your vision so others can swallow it. You are waiting for applause before the performance is even complete. You must accept the 0 point. The 0 point is absolute isolation. It is the moment you examine your bank account, your contacts, your resources, and find nothing except yourself. Most people panic here. You will not. You will recognize it as total freedom. With zero support, you have zero masters. If no one lifted you up, no one can tear you down. If you built it alone, the throne belongs entirely to you. This is the cold logic of the outlier. We do not mourn the empty room. We use the space to construct. Is often quoted saying, "It is better to be feared than loved," if you cannot be both. Apply this to your solitude. When you search for support, you are searching to be loved. You want approval for your idea. You want your family's pride. You want your friends' applause. You are operating from emotional need. And need repels power, have you noticed? The more you ask for help, the scarcer it becomes. The more you explain your vision to small minds, the more their eyes glaze over. They sense your desperation, and desperation smells like weakness. To succeed with zero support, you must abandon the need to be loved and begin commanding respect through competence. This demands a shift in your internal engine. You no longer run on encouragement. You run on defiance. Look directly at those who did not support you, the doubters, the ghosts, the unread messages, and feel no sorrow. Feel calculation. They do not believe. Good. The field is uncontested. They will not help. Good. The rewards remain undivided. You must reach the point where indifference no longer wounds you, it sharpens you. Picture a general on the battlefield. He turns and sees his army has vanished. He stands alone before the enemy. Does he collapse and weep for loyalty? No. He measures his weapons. He studies the terrain. He understands that a single man moving in shadow is far harder to destroy than a careless army marching in the open. He becomes asymmetrical. You are that general. The absence of support forces you to think sharper. It forces you to move faster. A massive corporation with 1,000 employees moves like a crippled giant, meetings about meetings, permissions stacked on permission. You, however, can alter the entire direction of your life in a single hour because you answer to no one. You do not need a board of directors. You need a mirror. Stop interpreting isolation as punishment. It is a filter. It removes the weak who would have slowed your pace. It removes the false allies who would have betrayed you the moment gold appeared. You are alone because you are being spared the burden of other people's mediocrity. So, how do you execute this? How do you wake each day to silence no messages, no encouragement, and still work like a demon? You enter the ghost phase. This concept comes from dark psychology and strategic warfare. With no support, you have no audience. With no audience, there is no performance. Become a ghost. Most people fail because they leak their energy through speech. They get an idea and immediately tell a friend. The friend says, "That sounds hard," or "Are you sure?" And the doubt slips in. The energy drains out. You receive a small hit of dopamine just from talking, and your brain mistakes discussion for achievement, so the work stops. The ghost does not speak. You must swear silence around your ambitions. Do not tell your mother. Do not tell your partner. Do not announce big things coming on Instagram. Silence creates pressure. When a massive goal lives inside you and has no escape through words, it compresses like steam in a sealed boiler. It turns into physical energy. It turns into anxiety. It turns into restlessness. Good. You need that pressure. That pressure is what drives you at 2:00 a.m. while the supported sleep. That pressure is what smashes resistance. When you are alone, you possess the luxury of total immersion. No happy hours. No forced celebrations. No social masks. The mask falls and the monster goes to work. Use isolation to obsess. The world calls obsession a disorder. We call it a requirement. With zero support, obsession is mandatory. You must master your craft beyond everyone else. You must become so precise, so competent, so strategically sound that denial becomes impossible. Steve Martin once said, "Be so good they can't ignore you." Notice he did not say, "Be so loved they want to help you." When you become undeniable, support no longer matters. And that is precisely when it begins to arrive. People love to stand behind a winner, and they despise standing beside a struggler. As long as you are asking for help, you look like a struggler. But when you dominate in silence, when you reappear from nowhere carrying results, suddenly everyone wants proximity. Everyone says, "I always knew he had it." You will smile. You will nod, but you will remember who stood with you when the room was empty. No one. Only you. To survive this path, you must grieve. This is the part the motivational prophets avoid. They tell you to hustle. They never tell you that hustling alone wounds the soul. You must mourn the life you thought awaited you. You believed there would be applause. You believed your parents would understand. You believed your friends would evolve alongside you. They will not. You must hold a funeral for the version of you that needed them. This grief is real. It is physical, a tightness in the chest, a sensation of betrayal, nights spent staring at the ceiling, wondering if you are insane, wondering if they are right, and you are wrong. This is the test. Every outlier passes through this valley. It is the space between the herd and the throne. You have left the crowd, but you have not yet arrived anywhere else. You are in the wilderness, and in the wilderness, the mind turns against itself. You hallucinate threats. You invent demons. You crave the safety of the cage you just escaped. But you cannot return. You have seen too much. You now understand that most people are sleepwalking, and that support is often nothing more than shared sedation. Once you see it, you cannot unsee it. So the boy must die for the man to be born. The dependent must die so the sovereign can rise. This requires becoming your own authority. Psychology calls this repair. Let us be honest and call it architecture. You wake up and face the mirror as the father you never had. You face your bank account as the provider you never had. You face your emotions as the therapist you never had. You speak to yourself directly. Get up. We work today. Stop crying. No one is coming. Focus. This is the only exit. You will develop a division within yourself. One part is tired, emotional, fragile. The other is the commander. The commander does not negotiate. He drags the weak part forward until it dissolves. Eventually, only the commander remains. This is what meant by a ruler with a flexible nature. You must learn to be ruthless with yourself in the short term, to be merciful to yourself in the long term. You deny comfort now, so you may rule later. And when you have zero support, there is no one left to excuse your weakness. If you sleep in, no one wakes you. If you do not work, you do not eat. The feedback is immediate and unforgiving. This is not cruelty. It is a gift. Comfort is the sworn enemy of greatness. Support often becomes a cushion that dulls the consequences of your own laziness. Alone, the ground is concrete. It hits hard. You learn quickly. You adapt. You become anti-fragile. Now examine the story you tell yourself. The average person tells a victim's tale. I couldn't start because I lacked funding. I couldn't change because I lacked a partner. You will tell a villain's origin story. Not that you become evil, but that you are forged by the slight. Michael Jordan, the greatest athlete, was infamous for inventing disrespect. He convinced himself he had been insulted so he could summon the fire to annihilate his opponent. You must do the same. Take every rejection, every ignored message, every smirk, every doubt, and feed it into a mental furnace. They did not support you. Good. They laughed at your idea. Perfect. They excluded you. Excellent. Burn it. Anger is a cleaner fuel than sadness. Sadness weighs you down and pulls you to the ground. Anger lightens you. It makes you move. Said that men are so simple and so obedient to immediate needs that a deceiver will never lack victims. Do not be the victim. Be the one who understands simplicity. They did not support you because they could not see what you see. They obey comfort, safety, conformity. You obey the future power, freedom, dominance. You are speaking a language they do not understand. Stop translating. Build so high they are forced to look up. Success with zero support tastes different. It is clean. There is no one to thank. No equity to divide. There is a dark satisfaction in knowing you walked through fire and remained standing while others waited for you to burn. But to reach this point, you must master strategic isolation. Most people end up alone by accident. You must choose it deliberately. Cut the cord. If you stay around those who drain you simply to avoid solitude, you are leaking power. You are paying a social tax to remain in a club you do not even respect. Stop paying it, sit alone, face the wall. Enter the silence. It will be deafening at first. Your thoughts will attack you. You are a failure. You are alone. Let them speak. Observe them, dissect them. Trace their origin. They are not yours. They were planted long ago. They come from a bitter uncle. They come from television. They do not belong to you. And once the noise fades, you will hear something else. A low, steady hum. That is your mind awakening for the first time. That is intuition. That is strategy. You cannot hear this voice when you are drowning in the noise of support circles and group thinking. Greatness is conceived in the void. Now strip the emotion away and look at this rationally. Collaborations collapse. Partnerships decay. Marriages end. The numbers are not on your side. The moment you introduce a second human variable into your plan for success, you multiply complexity and invite failure. Humans are unstable. They fall ill. They grow bored. They become envious. They change direction. Any plan that depends on another person remaining consistent is already compromised. Warned princes against auxiliary forces armies borrowed from others. Why? Because if they lose, you are defeated. And if they win, you are enslaved. The same law applies here. If you succeed using another man's money, his connections, his platform, you belong to him. You play by his rules. You dilute your message. You negotiate your vision. Succeeding with zero support is the only way to retain ownership of your soul. Is it harder?
Yes.
Does it sometimes take longer? Yes. Is it worth it? Always. You are laying a foundation of stone. The man lifted to the summit by a helicopter may stand on the peak, but his legs are weak. When the wind comes, he falls. The man who climbed alone bleeding, freezing, dragging himself up, the rock has legs of iron. The wind cannot move him. He is the mountain. Be the climber, not the passenger. This is why difficulty must be embraced. When you hit a wall and there is no one to call, do not panic. Smile. This is the repetition that builds strength. This is where problem solvers are forged. A mentor who hands you answers teaches you nothing. You memorize solutions that are not yours. But when you dig for weeks through resistance to find the answer yourself, that knowledge becomes permanent. It enters your blood. Gyro support means maximum education. You are forced to learn marketing. You are forced to learn product. You are forced to learn finance. You are forced to learn human psychology. You become a polymath. You become a weapon of total competence. Specialists are replaceable. The generalist who constructed the entire fortress alone is not. So look at your empty contact list and say, thank you. Thank you for forcing me to become everything I required. Now we go deeper into the dark psychology beneath this. There is a mechanism called sublimation. It is the process of taking raw, unacceptable emotion and converting it into productive force. You are alone. You are likely sad, angry, afraid. The average person anesthetizes these feelings. They drink. They scroll endlessly. They consume pornography. They eat sugar. They sedate the pain of isolation. You will do the opposite. You will feel it completely, and you will convert it into work. Pain is energy. It is high-octane fuel. You have seen this before. Notice how productive you become when you are heartbroken, when you are furious. The outlier learns to access this state at will. You do not wait for disaster. You harvest the quiet pain of solitude. I am alone, work harder. They ignored me, write better. I am broke, sell more. You condition yourself so that pain triggers production. This is how a man becomes a machine. While others are immobilized by emotion, you are accelerated by it. Would call this virtue, not morality, but capability, force, the power to bend fortune. Fortune, he said, is a woman, and she favors the bold. She favors the man who does not ask permission. Support makes men soft. It creates safety, and safety suffocates ambition. You must feel exposed. You must feel that if you stop moving, you drown. That pressure awakens dormant systems in the mind. You were designed to survive. Remove the safety net, and the primal brain ignites. The senses sharpen. Creativity spikes. You begin to see openings that comfort would have blinded you to. Welcome the danger. Welcome the solitude. It is activating you. We have addressed the mindset. Now we address the engine, the fuel. Supported men run on light energy, motivation, inspiration, collaboration. Alone, you must run on dark energy. Carl Jung called it the shadow, called it the fox and the lion. Most people repress this side of themselves. They are taught that envy, aggression, pride are sins, so they bury them. They strive to be good, and in doing so, they become harmless. You cannot succeed with zero support if you are harmless. To build from nothing requires aggression. It requires the ability to look at a competitor and want to dominate, not physically, but strategically. It requires the pride to know you deserve more than the crumbs offered to you. Integrate the shadow. Release the guilt around ambition. Release the shame around wealth. Release the need to appear humble. That darkness is not corruption. It is stored power. A rocket does not rise because it has noble intentions. It rises because it creates a controlled explosion beneath it. Your shadow is that explosion. When you are alone at 11 p.m. and ready to quit, inspiration will not save you. Inspiration is unreliable. It abandons you when difficulty arrives. But spite is loyal. Pride is permanent. Use them. Tell yourself, if I quit now, the one who doubted me wins. Tell yourself, if I stop, I prove them right. It is a dirty fuel, yes, but it burns hot. And right now, you need heat. You can switch to solar power later, once you are in orbit. To break free of gravity, you need fire. Wrote that God is unwilling to do everything for us, lest he strip us of free will and the share of glory that belongs to us. The meaning is simple. You are meant to fight. You are meant to seize glory with your own hands. It will not be gifted to you. Do not be the agreeable man who finishes last. Be the integrated man who finishes first. Be courteous. Be refined. But keep the monster restrained and ready. You have no boss. You have no team. You have no accountability partner. This is the danger zone. Most people, when left alone, decay. They wake late. They scroll endlessly. They work for minutes and rest for hours. They mistake freedom for vacation. If you do this, you will die metaphorically and financially. To succeed with zero support, you must become a dictator to yourself. You need a protocol. A protocol is not a to-do list. A to-do list is a suggestion. A protocol is laud. First, the morning negotiation. The moment your eyes open, the negotiation begins. The weaker part of your mind wants comfort. It wants the snooze button. You must win this first battle every day. If you lose to the alarm clock, you have already declared that you are not in command. Second, deep work. You do not work all day. That is a lie told by the inefficient. You work deeply. You shut off the phone. You lock the door. You enter a trance for 4 hours. In those hours you produce more than institutions do in weeks. No meetings. No interruptions. This is your asymmetry: speed, focus, lethality. Third, the information diet. With zero support, your mind is your primary asset. Feed it garbage and it will return garbage. Eliminate the news. Eliminate drama. Eliminate content that shrinks you. Study philosophy. Study strategy. Study technical mastery. Studied Rome. He did not study gossip. He examined greatness to become great. Fourth, the evening audit. At day's end, you review yourself. Stand before the mirror and ask, did I advance today, or did I merely make noise? You have no manager to evaluate you. You are the manager, and you must be ruthless. If you failed, acknowledge it. Correct it. Do not comfort yourself. This structure becomes a container for your chaos. It replaces the external discipline of a job or school with an internal discipline of iron. Now we confront the greatest distraction of the solitary builder: networking. You are told to network, attend events, exchange cards. Listen carefully. Networking is for those who have nothing to offer. When you begin from zero, you possess no leverage. Walk into a room of power and you arrive as a petitioner, asking for attention, asking for favors. Powerful people recognize this instantly. They resent it. Do not attend networking events. Stay home and build. Build value. Build a product. Build an audience. Build a skill so rare and so useful that it pulls others toward you. When you become a magnet, you do not pursue iron. Iron seeks you. Advise the prince to make himself necessary. A wise ruler relies on what lies within his control and avoids only being despised. Make yourself indispensable to the market. If you are the finest editor in your field, creators will seek you out. If you are the sharpest copywriter, agencies will come to you. If you are the most precise strategist, leaders will find you. Construct the honeypot. Stop chasing the bees. Every hour spent sipping cheap wine at a networking mixer is an hour stolen from mastery. It is an hour you could have invested in becoming undeniable. The strongest network is a body of irrefutable work. The best introduction is a record of excellence. Win first, network later. And when you finally enter those rooms, you will not be offering cards. They will be requesting yours. This next part will feel cinematic, but it is real. If you walk this path, the ghost's path, the outlier's path, the Machiavellian path, something strange occurs. You begin to win. The metrics rise. Money appears. The body transforms. Confidence radiates like heat. And then they return. The friends who were unavailable. The family who questioned your direction. The partners who left for stability. They come back smiling, armed with a phrase that curdles the stomach: we always believed in you. I'm proud of us. They will attempt to revise history. They will try to step into your story. They want proximity to the trophy they never lifted. This is the final examination. The former version of you, the one starving for approval, will want to open the door. You will crave the validation. You will think, they love me now. Do not surrender to it. Handle this moment with Machiavellian grace. No cruelty. No spectacle. You simply maintain the distance. You treat them with the same polite indifference they showed you. You become a wall of glass. They can see you, but they cannot touch you. You understand that their affection is conditional. It is tied to your usefulness, to your status, and that is human nature. But you do not build a castle on shifting sand. You keep the gates closed. The only people allowed in are those who helped carry the stones. And since you carried them alone, the castle belongs to you alone. This is not loneliness. This is sovereignty. There is a peace here that is rare. The peace of knowing you are self-reliant. If everything was stripped from you tomorrow, you could rebuild it all, because the true asset is you. Not your friends, not your network, not your luck. Where does it end? It does not. Once you have succeeded with zero support, you unlock a new level. You are no longer merely a survivor. You are the architect. You now possess the tools to construct the world you envisioned. And here is the paradox: now that you need no one, you can give. You can become the person you wished existed for you. You can spot the young, hungry, lonely kid ready to give up and be the one to say, keep going. Not for repayment, but because you know the pain of the empty room. You do it strategically. You do not save everyone. Only those who ignite the spark. You become mentor, patron, godfather. Said, it is double pleasure to deceive the deceiver. In your case, it is double pleasure to support the unsupported, to repair the flaw in the system that left you behind. But never forget where you came from. Never forget the cold. Never forget the silence. Keep a fragment of that darkness in your heart. Let it anchor you while the world showers flowers at your feet. They clap for you now, but you know the truth: you clapped for yourself when the room was empty. That is the applause that matters. And yes, I feel your mind resisting this. It whispers, this is too hard. I need people. That is your biology. Humans are herd animals. The prey instinct is pulling you back to safety, back to the flock. Safety is a lie. The sheep is safe until the wolf arrives. The wolf is safe because he is dangerous. Which are you? The path of zero support is not for everyone. It is for the outlier. It is for the mutation. It demands that you be willing to appear a failure for long enough to become a legend forever. It demands that you endure the darkness so you can shine in the light. Most people will turn away from this, text a friend, and seek a tiny dose of sympathy. They will feel better for 10 minutes, and nothing will change. But you remain. You are observing. You are scheming. You are understanding that the empty chair beside you is not a vacancy, it is a throne, waiting for you to grow strong enough to occupy it. If this has stirred you, know that this is only what I can reveal publicly. If you are still here, you are not like the rest. Subscribe to and ascend to the architect level. There, you will access videos that probe the deepest recesses of the human psyche. Most will not. That is precisely the point.